All right, what's going on, everybody? Good morning. My name is Brent, and I'm a technical product specialist with Alpinestars, and I'm also the head guy here in the U.S. and North America for Tech Air. And so we're going to be setting this airbag off here in just a few minutes. But before we do that, we're going to talk just a little bit about it to find out just what it is and how it works. So Tech Air, of course, it's an airbag system. And really what it is it's a full upper body airbag protection system that's completely independent and integrated. It's completely integrated in the sense that it's fully inside the jacket here with no external sensors or tethers or connections to the bike or anything like that. And the idea is for it to deploy ahead of the first impact in a crash. The key word here being ahead. And so to explain how it works, as I mentioned, it is fully integrated, so there's no tethers, no connections to any GPS, satellites, or any physical sensors on the bike itself. So how it works is it uses 4 sensors. There's 3 accelerometers and a gyroscope. There's an accelerometer found in each shoulder, as well as an accelerometer and a gyroscope inside the back protector, which also houses the ACU, which is the airbag control unit, the computer, the brain. And all 4 sensors, they sense in 3 dimensions across 3 axes, and they communicate with the computer on a millisecond level, sending 12 data inputs every 2 milliseconds. So that's 500 times a second. And to explain where we got the 12 number from, so we have the 4 sensors sensing across 3 axes, so 4 times 3 is where we get that 12. And so built into the computer is also an algorithm. We have 2 separate algorithms. We have a racing algorithm and a street algorithm. And the reason for the 2 separate algorithms is because obviously the 2 different types of riding styles and environments are different from one another. Whereas on the racetrack, typically it's a single vehicle accident, meaning the rider, and usually it's a loss of control resulting in either a high side or a low side. Whereas on the street, there's far more variables, and typically it's a multi-vehicle accident, involving the rider and another car, and typically it's an impact or a collision. So the way in which the sensors are communicating with the computer, and based on the algorithm, they're detecting a little bit for different types of accidents. And from the moment of detection of a crash happening to inflation of the canisters and the airbag system is 25 milliseconds. And to give you an idea of just how fast 25 milliseconds is, the average blink of an eye is 190 milliseconds. So it's about 8 times faster than that. It's 1/40th of a second. So it's literally instantaneous. And so when it deploys, the airbag is going to cover your entire back, and that's in addition to the CE Level 2 rated back protector that's already integrated and built into the system on its own. So it's going to cover your entire back. It's going to come up and over your shoulders, about halfway down to your elbow, your whole collarbone here, your whole upper abdomen, and then it's going to wrap around your sides as well to protect your kidneys, ribs, and vital organs. And once it's deployed, again, it's a 25 millisecond reaction time, and when it's fully inflated, it remains fully inflated for 5 full seconds. And the reason for that is because the average length of the crash is approximately 2.5 seconds. So, and although, of course, for any of us who've crashed, we probably all know, how it feels. It's, that oh shoot moment, and even though everything kind of feels like it's going in slow motion, really it's over and done with before you know it. So you have about twice the average length of the crash at the full pressure inflation. And then over the course of the next minute and a half, it'll slowly start to self-deflate back to its original uninflated state, as you see here. And on any area covered by the airbag, it reduces the amount of impact energy transferred through to the body by 96% compared to CE Level 1 rated armor, and by 90% compared to CE Level 2 rated armor. So you're literally getting an exponential amount of more protection with the airbag system than you would just with the armor that comes standard within the jacket itself. So that's why you see riders and racers like Marc Marquez, Andrea Dovizioso, all these MotoGP riders and World Superbike, you name it. You see them have these massive crashes, pulling like almost 30 G's of impact force to the ground, and yet they're able to walk away, relatively unscathed and able to continue riding on, the rest of the day, the rest of the weekend, what have you. Marc Marquez, just as a quick example, this past year, he had a massive high side in practice on a Friday, and towards the end of the season, and then on Saturday he went out and qualified. He ended up winning the race, and not only that, he also wrapped up the championship that same weekend. So, I mean, if he's not one of our best examples of proving the effectiveness of this technology, I don't know who is. But basically, that's what the technology is and how it works in a nutshell. I can go on for much longer and kind of really getting into the nuts and bolts of it. But who wants to see this thing go off?
It feels pretty normal. I mean, and to be honest, this would be a great addition because I've had a few crashes where I've torn my shoulder, I've punctured a lung, so I would think some of this would definitely have been preventable if I had a jacket like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And like when you feel the actual system go off, so on any area where the airbag covers, once fully inflated, it's about 2 inches thick all the way around. So you'll feel it here in a second.
It'll get a little tighter.
It will get a little bit tighter, but the way all the Tech Air compatible jackets are constructed is, if you actually turn around here for me, you can see there's all sorts of stretch paneling in the back, and shoulders and everything, and then just in the front as well. Here, it's all stretch material. So once the airbag deploys, the jacket expands with it. Otherwise, if you had an airbag within a jacket that didn't have any stretch panels, it's a lot of, with how quickly it deploys, which you'll see here in a second, that's a lot of force to, have nowhere to go. And if it can't go out, it's only going to go in. So,
yeah.
Ready?
Ready.
All right, perfect. So we're going to do this in 3, 2, 1. Boom. And as you can see here, that was literally instantaneous. That was 1/40th of a second. And if you kind of turn around here for me, you can see just the level of coverage that it provides.
And it's already deflating.
So yeah, it's already starting.
Yeah,
you can probably start feeling it going down, but you can see your entire back, so shoulders, arms, chest, and sides here. We can really kind of beat them up here pretty good. And again, it's going to reduce that impact energy by 96% compared to CE level 1 rated armor, and by 90% compared to CE level 2. So yeah, you can really kind of take a good hit with this.
Definitely fall down and get back up. It feels like.
And you can probably already feel it starting to soften up and deflate.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's very cool.
But that is the Alpinestars Tech Air system, available for both racing applications as well as street applications, and with a wide variety of different Tech Air compatible garments that can be used across a number of different riding disciplines.
It's a lot more comfortable than actually hitting the ground.
Exactly. I can imagine. But
when it inflated, what was the impact on your body? Anything?
No, minimal. I mean,
by comparison to landing on the ground.
All that I felt was the jacket got a little bit tighter, but obviously a lot better than hitting the ground.
Amen.
But you have to think too is, in the moment as you're crashing, all of a sudden your adrenaline spikes. So, you're in your head, you're not thinking, oh no, is this thing gonna go off? Basically that oh shoot moment, as soon as you say oh shoot in your head is basically when this thing is going off. And in fact, some people in the moment, because of the adrenaline, they don't even realize it goes off. But are able to walk away, without any injuries.
And when it goes off, what do you have to do to reset it, or do you have to take it in and get it serviced? Or?
Sure. So with this system here, the Tech Air Street system, you have 2 canisters, and they're argon canisters. It's not CO2. It's not compressed air. It's argon, which is an inert gas, and it requires a pyrotechnic to be deployed. and argon gas is actually about 40% denser than air. So once it deploys via the pyrotechnic, not only is it deploying quicker, but it's also, once it's fully inflated, because it's denser than air, it's absorbing that much more of that impact energy. But so with this system, there's 2 argon canisters, and you blow one at a time. So you can crash with this system 2 times before needing to send it back. And once you send it back to us at Alpinestars, what we do is we go ahead and replace the entire airbag along with with both canisters. And turnaround time for that is about a week. And from when we get it in, our turnaround time is about a day, and so from when we get it in until it's back in the customer's hands is about 2 to 4 days, and it really kind of depends more on shipping and how far it needs to go, more than anything else. But if you're crashing more than 2 times or more often than that, maybe motorcycling is maybe we have to think about another activity.
Oh, another thing. Now, if a rider has one for 3 or 4 years, it doesn't deploy, can they send it back and have you check it over and update the software, everything like that?
Of course, yeah, and that's another thing that we do is when the vest comes in to us, if it's been deployed, we go through the entire system from top to bottom to make sure everything is spick and span and as good as new as the day you bought it. And any owner that has a Tech Air system is registered within the system, and they get updates and notifications anytime there is any sort of algorithm or software update, and that's something that they can all do themselves very easily. It takes about a minute to refresh the system and whatnot, and it's all very convenient. But yes, if somebody wanted, after 4 years or however many years, if they wanted to send it in to have it, just looked at to make sure everything is working properly, yes, we can do that as well, of course. And then I guess one other thing I should also mention is to talk about the battery life a little bit. So because it's not connected to anything, it's all integrated within the jacket itself. It is going to run on a battery. And a fully charged battery will give you 25 hours of ride time. And 25 hours of active ride time, is a lot. Depending, like if you commute in the vest with the system, that 25 hours, could be 2-3 weeks before needing to charge, plug it in to charge it. And it's all done via a micro USB key or a micro USB cable. And very common. It's nothing proprietary or anything like that. And from a completely dead battery to fully charged, it'll take 6 hours, and about 1 hour of charge time will give you about 4 to 5 hours of ride time. And just to talk about the active riding, as I mentioned, so at the top of the jacket here, you see these 2 C's, right? These 2 yellow C's. And inside here, there is a magnet. And once these are together like that, it completes the circuit, and then it goes ahead and tells the system to then go ahead and arm itself. Until these 2 are together, the system will not arm itself. And so what I mean by active riding time, if you were to stop at a gas station or a restaurant, for a drink or lunch or whatever, and you take the jacket off, even though it's still on, it goes into a standby power saving mode, so you're not actually burning any battery power. And then as soon as you zip it right back up, those 2, the magnetic sensor there is connected in the front. That's when it'll go live again, and you'll be then active and armed, and it'll be sensing for that, for any sort of crash scenario. And that also includes, getting hit from behind. Say you're sitting at a stoplight or a traffic light intersection, waiting for the light to change. If you get rear-ended from behind, it senses for that as well, and it will deploy ahead of that first impact, within that 25 millisecond reaction time.